Hey everyone, welcome. We are on a 2-minute countdown to the show start. And if you're here early, you're amazing. Know how loved you are. If in return you could drop a little like on the video, that would be amazing. Helps with the old algorithm in a huge way. And you're looking for something to do, use the comments to tell us where in the world you're watching the show from right now. That would be absolutely amazing. It's going to be a boss show. Strap yourself in. You've still got a minute and 30-ish seconds, 32. Time to just about make yourself a very weak cup of tea or a standard cup of water. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're looking for something else to do, here's some awesome merchandise that we sell. I've no idea what the actual t-shirt is, but what I can say with absolute guarantee is that it's clearly amazing because our designers are great. That's on redmenmerch.com. Here's some cool stuff there. 1 minute till the show starts. Getting exciting. You can put in the comments section, who is your favorite Liverpool player of all time? Yeah, that should kill a few seconds, kill 15 just saying it. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Thank you so much for sitting here in eager anticipation of what we're going to do for you, or the things we're going to do. It's going to be great fun, great laugh. What a time we're going to have here. 27 seconds. Here we go. Make sure that you've got your volume levels adjusted perfectly. You're sitting comfortably. And, you know, if you're the kind of person who's a very angry commenter, make sure you press that caps lock button first, because that way we know that you're shouting in anger when you type your comments in. But obviously, just be nice, right? Anyway, 4, 3, 2, 1, enjoy the show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored match build-up show. Hope you enjoyed that new countdown video. Yeah, the gaffer giving all the info you need.
I hope that's not the highlight of my evening, you know, because that was really funny, but I felt like I was in the cinemas.
Yeah.
You know, where the guy's like talking to you before your film starts, and there's like, just to make sure, you know, turn off your mobiles, don't like eat your munchies too loud, all that shit. Like, that's what I kind of felt like, but it works.
Spoiler alert, I've done one.
Don't miss.
It's not out yet. It goes down the cinema route.
Yeah,
mate,
see,
I even start going like So,
yes.
Keep an eye on the channel.
Love that. Keep your eye out for that one.
Yeah,
defo.
anyway, right, absolutely wrong. Kieran said that countdown screamers boss. It got me ready for the game. Yeah, something's got to get you going. Anyway, welcome to the Uncensored match build-up. I'm Slee Hall, this is Ella Smith, and over there at the board is Mr. Dan Clubb, looking splendid in his Cody Gakpo jumper / sweatshirt.
The drip.
He's also on the front of the programme cover. Not Dan, Cody Gakpo. Just so happens that he's probably not going to be in the team. So it's just something awkward. Yeah, I went with the manager. At least he can't be dropped on my shirt. But yeah, get involved. Redmenmerch.com be one of those. Right then, going to come straight to it, Errol. It's bloody Wolves again. It's like Groundhog Day. Every time you turn around, you're playing Brighton or you're playing Wolves. They battered us last time. It was an embarrassing performance from Liverpool Football Club. Got beat 3-0. Could be much worse. This is, of course, at Anfield. We had a chat earlier in the week, and I know we obviously in the WhatsApp and stuff. It was more a case of if Liverpool can beat Wolves tonight, the draw against Crystal Palace takes on a little bit more relevance in the fact that you've now went and got yourself 10 points from 4 Premier League games, which is about top 4 level performances. I think Jürgen at the end of that Palace game almost took the draw. His last sub in particular made you think he was quite happy with the point. But in order for that to be the correct or right decision or be justified, you have to beat Wolverhampton Wanderers at home. You're not going to get top 4 really if you don't win this game, I would think.
I feel like we say that every single week, and that's why you mentioned it's like Groundhog Day. Do you know what I mean? We're back up against it, backs against the wall. I don't think at the moment, though, Liverpool don't seem to have this siege mentality. We've not really been able to really kind of capitalise on when the going gets tough, the tough have got to start getting going, and you've got to start kind of really like grinding out results and battling for each other. I'm not really seeing enough of it at the moment from this Liverpool side. It's not to say that, again, these lads have went and done almost the impossible, almost season on top of season a lot of times, but it's not to say that they won't be able to switch it on. But at the minute, it's like, you're right. In order for all of those other results to make sense, for all those other results to have been worth it, for all that blood, sweat and tears, ultimately this game now becomes the most important game. It becomes a game where if you don't get those 3 points, you're looking at things and you're starting to count how many points are left to be up for grabs, and you're thinking, oh, can we really settle? You point on it was a 10 points on 4 games there.
If you win this one.
In an event we win tonight, it's a good point. It's relative, though, to the other teams. What are the other teams around us doing? Where's the form looking at the moment? Because I think everybody's been a little, apart from Arsenal, Arsenal...
actually, to be fair, Tottenham is the form team as well, which is mad. But you were speaking there, we talk about game in hands all the time, and we've got 2 on Tottenham. We haven't got any on Newcastle at the moment. We've got 2 on Fulham, who are above us as well. The only way that these points become, these game in hands, Dan, I'll come to you on this one in a second, mate, is that game in hands are great. Here's one of them. We've got ones tonight because obviously this game was postponed. Obviously when the Queen died, this game got postponed. It's been put back to today. Liverpool have been unable to fit it in anywhere really due to Champions League commitments, cup commitments, etc. Here's the time now, because we've all been looking at it and we've all been going, oh yeah, but if we win our game in hand, here's the game in hand. You've got to go and win it.
Yeah, we've got to go and win it, mate, absolutely, yeah. And it starts a massive week for us, doesn't it, more than anything? Obviously, we've got United on Sunday, back-to-back home games, and I think we all kind of realise our home form's going to be pivotal if we are going to get the top 4. Like, Liverpool could feasibly, with the games we've got remaining, get into the top 4 based on our home form alone. We've got that Fulham game to rearrange now as well. That's going to be another game in hand further down the line. But in years gone by, we could almost look at games in hand as 3 guaranteed points. We can't do that right now with this team. It's just not possible.
Can't bank on anything.
Having said all that, like I say, we are at home. It is Wolves. We should be going into this flying blood and thunder. What do they say? Like, never fight a desperate man. Liverpool should be desperate right now. So we need to go. We need to go and get these 3 points, mate. So yeah, it's a big old game. But like I say, this home form's got to carry us through between now and the end of the season. And Jurgen Klopp was kind of saying that yesterday. It was a bit of a rallying cry from him, saying like, he doesn't back any other club in world football to get top 4 from this position that we're in, and that's what we need to show tonight.
Absolutely. Quadbod in the chat there says sterile plus Anfield equals a win guaranteed. In times gone by, my mate Quadbod, yeah.
It used
not,
to be.
Not with, not with these Reds. We used to just turn up, eat sweets, have a laugh, and win a game of footy.
I feel like we took it for granted. I feel like we didn't. I want to go back and watch some of the Chiefs from last season to just see how much.
And Liverpool have scored the 4th goal.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'd knew what I know now, I'd have revelled in that shit even more. Like,
honestly,
I would have been an unbearable Liverpool fan last season if I'd have known.
You were them last week, to be fair.
Yeah. That's so true.
I wanted them punch me. It got heated. You were that Real Madrid game, honestly. I don't even like Joe Gomez that much, but I felt like you were bullying him. We had to go for it anyway. We can't confirm. Obviously, the Liverpool team news will be out. It'll be about 9 minutes time, but we usually get wind of a little something. And Dan, I'm going to come over to you if you don't mind, mate, because I've got wind of a team again, unconfirmed. Usually these things are right, but again, I'm going to clarify this is unconfirmed team news, but just bringing it to you guys first, boxing you all off. I've got Liverpool making quite a few changes, or Jaeger making quite a few changes. So I'll come over to you, Dan. Get the board out. Yeah. I want you to take Andy Robertson off.
Yeah, so this is last week's team from
take
that
Robbo off.
Cure for Insomnia game that was.
Yeah, take Joel Matip off, please.
Joel Matip off as well. Yeah, he can go.
Take all 3 midfielders off.
Wholesale in there.
And I want you to take Cody Gakpo off, please.
Okay, can do that for you. I feel like, like Bruce's assistant from Places Right.
No, it feels a bit like Countdown, doesn't it? Except you're not Rachel. Yeah. If you're Rachel Riley, I'd be a lot more
happy. I'm not a bad Tory, like.
I always prefer Carol Vorderman on Countdown, I'm not going to lie.
But he's aging well.
The older lady?
Like a fine wine.
Anyway, we got sidetracked there.
Costas at left back.
Costas in there.
Ibu at centre back, please.
I don't know what I was waiting for.
Val, please, Dan. Constant, please, Dan.
Ibu's back.
Yeah.
Ibu's back.
Fab, Elliott, and who's my other midfielder?
Bajcetic.
So Elliott and Bajcetic, we go. I'm made up. Harvey's back, by the way.
Bajcetic as well.
And Stefan, there's my man. There we go.
And then put Nunes in for me, please. And then you can decide, Dan, who goes up front and who goes on the left wing.
Has to be for me. Has to be that way around for me.
Anyway, so that's that. By the way, that's the team we think it's going to be. I don't really know about the bench just yet, but to clarify, the rumoured Liverpool team is Ali, Costas, Van Dijk, Canate back, Trent stays in the team. A whole new midfield with Fab, Elliott and Bajcetic, and then Nunes returning from a shoulder injury, partnered by trio, Mohamed Salah and Diogo Jota. So Cody Gakpo gets his turn on the bench. That's where that's what we think it's going to be, and we'll confirm in a few minutes. I'll stick with you there first then, Errol. Before we get that, Andy Carr says if you were Rachel Riley, we were getting a lot more views, which is fair enough.
That's probably true, to be fair.
Johnny Red and Eamon both agree with you on the Callum Vorderman shout as well. They're fans as well, my friend.
If she's a Liverpool fan and she watches the thing, just
Your mum was watching this?
yeah, but
Would your mum approve of Callum Vorderman being Mrs. Errol?
I doubt it.
Would your missus approve of Callum Vorderman being
That's a sensitive subject right now, so let's not even go there.
Okay, sound. Carol, if you're watching getting Errol, slide in the DMs, we'll box you up. Right then, back to the footy. Robbo getting a break, we think. Ibu coming in, whole new midfield, Nunes back. Take your pick, Errol. You can comment on any of those things. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Ibu.
Yeah.
Not seeing him, and a lot of people are making out like he could be the linchpin to kind of rescue our season. I know a lot has been made of the last couple of games. You know, I started to think up until that Real Madrid game, and I won't stay on that for too long. Up until that point, I felt like we had started to find our rhythm. I started to feel like between Cody, Nunes, Salah, they started to find a little bit of a bit of fluidity with each other, been able to link in with each other quite nicely, and he was creating and making goals for one another, which is what we needed. And I think that was the springboard. I think Nunes then picking up that little bit of a knock to his shoulders probably set that back, and then it become a little bit fragmented again. I don't have a problem with fitting in Jota now. If he starts to get up to speed and starts getting minutes back in his legs, I don't have a problem, because we know how potent in front of goal he can be for us. But I think fundamentally, if we do stand a chance of kicking on to secure top four, being able to lock that back door and being able to say no to teams coming on us wave after wave, or not even necessarily wave after wave, it's just when teams have been cutting us open with their one or two chances and been punishing us. If we have someone that is able to stop that, and someone who's not really been affected by some of the mad games that we've had this season, someone who's like, I've had a bit of my own injury woes and stuff like that, but that's probably been the low light of my season. It's not necessarily been the games that I've been a part of that have been really a kick in the teeth. I'd hope that Canate can kind of stand up and really be counted when we need him, because that no one's really been able, and again, you could argue Virgil's in this conversation as well at the moment, just based on form, but no one's really been a standout centre-back for us this season, and I think Canate is going to have a big part in these last, 12, 13 games that we've got left to play.
Absolutely. Before we talk about the others then, there were a couple of injury doubts, of course. Again, that team isn't confirmed yet. Jürgen spoke about who isn't available in terms of fitness, as pre-match press conference as well. Ibu, Nunes, couple of others. So Diaz, I believe a Thiago update as well. So let's hear what the gaffer had to say about the fitness of his squad so far.
Okay. Let's start with a not so positive. Thiago not. He's not. He's in rehab. Luis, I watched half an hour the rehab session out on the pitch, individually shooting, moving, looks all really good, but was not in team training yet, so that's probably the decisive information. Joe Gomez is out, with a muscle problem. Ibu trained yesterday completely normal, and Darwin as well. And now we have to see how he, especially I think for Ibu, it's going to be. Had no issues since he was injured. We just wanted to give him more training time before we include him again, and that should be now fine. And what was the other? Darwin. Yeah, we have to see. It's a shoulder. It looked absolutely okay yesterday, but I don't know before. Some of the people will tell me how he reacted on yesterday.
Turns out how Darwin reacted was probably pretty good, because we think he's going to be in the starting 11. We had a comment here from Paul in the YouTube chat, and he said that, the front three have just started getting a bit of chemistry together, and Jürgen's just changed it. My counter to that would be, he didn't look like scoring a goal against Crystal Palace. We probably did have to change it, would be how I'd put it. Darwin's almost making himself indispensable. He was in great form before the injury. Yeah. I mean, relatively speaking, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like he was pulling too much. He scored a couple of goals, some really, really good goals.
He's been a nuisance all season. He's a constant thought in defensive sides all season, whether it's him scoring goals or creating or just being a handful. That energy is what's been sorely missed, and that energy to me is probably the closest energy we've got in that forward line to what we had with Mane. Mane was a constant handful for defences as well. He was a nuisance. He was always someone. I think the last part of last season that he played was his movement was a little bit predictable, but he was still really explosive, and that was one of the really important things with a player like Sadio Mane. And I think Nunes has got not only that explosive side to his game, But right now, as Liverpool fans, we still don't know what he's going to do and how he's going to turn up and how he's going to perform. He's just going to be. It's organised chaos. I feel like he's got into that like sweet spot of being organised chaos now, and it's organised to a point where, as fans, we might not fully understand it, but I think the teammates around him are starting to get a better reading of his game, and I think that's what makes him such an asset for this Liverpool forward line at the moment. And I think that's why when it was the drop off when he wasn't there. It was that kind of energy, I think, is probably one of the key things that I noticed that was missing.
And pace, I thought. They lacked a lot of pace. We had a super chat from Beth McCarthy. Says, what do you guys think of Liberty Media, who owns the F1, being linked? So, I mean, the team news show might not be the best one for answers, but I thought, listen, Liverpool need investment. FSG have already said now they're not selling, and the fact that we are having some team news things, somebody needs to invest in the football club. Who that is, obviously depends on a lot of different things, but listen, I wouldn't be shocked if it's a media company, given the way the football landscape's going towards media deals and things like that. I wouldn't be shocked if it was some type of deal like that, but yeah, Liverpool, I think that it's key now, really, isn't it? Given about we could do with a little bit of investment, obviously, and well, say a little bit of investment in the team, quite a bit of investment. If truth be told, we're about a minute away from the official team being announced. But like I say, if it is what we think it is, we think it's going to be a whole new midfield as well, which is interesting, really, because he went. I wonder when he made that decision. Did he make that decision before Palace to go, I'm going to play those three against Palace and I'm going to play those against Wolves at home? Because it feels like that might have been the case. He started...
Well, Palace is a tough place to go away at any point in time.
And he picked, obviously, Milner, Henderson, Keita, and it didn't really work, if truth be told. He's a completely new midfield three. And as the team comes out, we'll just confirm it's true. But that Elliott one, I'll
let's find out. Let's find out, and then we can talk on it.
Let's find out if it was right, and let's have a little look. I'm going to bring it up on the screen now. And listen, don't ever doubt my sources. Saucy sources. I've got you covered every step of the way. It is Alisson, Trent. I'm going to give Dan a bit of time to get the subs sorted. Go on. You can sort your subs out. I'll speak through on the screen. Dan. Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Kostas Tsimikas at left back, Fabinho, Bajcetic and Harvey Elliott, then Salah, Nunes, Jota. Makes me think Jota will be sent to fireworks, just as Dan put it. A subs bench I'm going to read really slowly so Dan's got time. Kevin Kelleher, James Milner, Roberto Firmino, Jordan Henderson, the return of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, that was easy for me to say, Cody Gakpo, Andy Robertson, Fabio Carvalho and Joel Matip. Dan, I'm going to come over to you then. Don't need you to read the team out again, mate. I've just read it all and I've just read the subs as well. Talk to me about the midfield three.
Yeah, it's an interesting midfield three, obviously. I mean, no real surprise that he has made changes from it. I touched on it earlier, that game on Saturday ended up being an absolute snooze fest. There's no two ways about it. We did lack a lot of creativity in there. I've spoke about it all week. He picked Naby Keita with the idea of him being the one to make something happen, and he had an absolute disaster class, quite frankly, let's be honest about it. So no surprise to see him go with this man in there to create that little bit more. I think the Wolves lineup will allow him to have that little bit more freedom, and he will be allowed to do some stuff. This kid coming back in, Stefan Bajcetic, he's been absolutely superb. He's a no-brainer. And I think freshening things up in there in general is the right call for this one, to be honest. I think even Fabinho, who's shown glimpses of coming back to his best, getting him back in his favoured position, I think it's a good shout. We had an interesting comment from Rob Davies before in the YouTube about the leadership or the lack thereof in this lineup, and obviously Virgil's going to captain the side, but with no Robbo, no Henderson, no Milner, I actually think it's an interesting point because you're relying on him a lot to lead the entire
Trent's in the
team.
leadership group.
He is in the leadership group, yeah, but I mean his own form, attitude has been put into question recently, you know what I mean? So I don't think we can rely on him too much. We're putting a hell of a lot on Virgil to lead this entire 11.
I love that. I love that, though.
Listen,
them's the breaks. Them's the breaks.
I think there's a case, and I don't know this because we haven't seen them play together much, Errol. In lieu of Luis Diaz obviously being out injured, I think that could be Liverpool's best front three. I still think Jota over Gakpo. I still think that's the proof will be in the pudding because we haven't seen it.
Well, the proof's in their numbers.
We haven't seen any of that really together.
Do you think they played together?
Jota came on against
City.
City game. It's not a lot. Not a lot.
No, actually, not had a lot of football together. Yeah. But I do think just numbers alone, on merit, they definitely are the best front three that we've got at the moment. And I know Bobby's had a much better season by Bobby's standards this season as well. But I think when that chance falls in the box, you're just almost expecting it to. You almost want it to land at Jota's feet because you know he can be clinical. I think Dan makes an excellent point though about that leadership, and I'm just looking. I think Defensively, yeah, you've got the likes of Verge and Alisson there. I think Tsimikas, even though he's a bit of a wild card for me because I think he gets it and he wants to be that. It's just sometimes, is it the quality? Is he going to have enough of an influence on the game? Because again, we're going to have to kind of look at where these fullbacks, who goes, who stays. It's going to be another one of those games. Is Trent really going to be as influential going forward? Last season it seemed to work, that Harvey, Trent, Salah trio, but this season I don't think they've managed to make it click as much. I don't think Harvey's been as intuitive to cover for Trent where needed. So I think in those games when you do play Harvey on that right side of the 8, sometimes you do have to take a little bit, or you have to kind of put the brakes on Trent's going forward game because you don't want to just be too exposed and too left in the cover. So that to me then does make me think Tsimikas is going to have to be the one to create. But Tsimikas, Bajcetic and Nunes, they have not lined up on that left-hand side. And I said it to you the other week, mate, that left-hand side has been the most unbalanced part of our team all season because Robbo struggled to really link as fluid as he had with the kind of that, not having to think because he had Mane up there. Yeah, he just had Mane for years. Do you know what I mean? He had to thinking. Obviously, Thiago coming in and out, Keita, Bajcetic. That left side of the midfield hasn't always been as kind of nailed on as what we'd probably have liked it to have been at this point. Obviously, we know we're a couple seasons removed from Wijnaldum now, so it has changed a lot. So for me, there's a lot to be said of what can that left-hand side deliver for us tonight, and it'll be interesting to see.
So also, by the way, those three played against Rangers at home,
okay,
but Diaz played as well. It was like a front four.
We did that a couple of times.
We had that a couple of times, but as a three, I'm not sure they played too much together, especially from the start of games. Interesting, Dan, I'll come to you. Then we spoke a lot before, but Naby Keita isn't even on the bench. You don't know if that's injury related or anything. If it's not injury related, that's a damning indictment. You've got to think it would be, really, you would say. I would be shocked if Carvalho was on the bench heading, for example. And I know I like Fabio Carvalho, I like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to an extent, but you've got to believe if Keita isn't injured, then we are speculating. But that would be a huge statement from the manager to bomb from the first team out the 18 altogether.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, especially given the fact he started that game on Saturday night, to go from sort of trusting him enough to start a huge game at Crystal Palace away to not even having the squad is a big call. And listen, would I be shocked if it was injury related with Naby Keita? Not necessarily. But it's almost like the lads who were going in the summer taking turns not to be involved. Like Oxlade-Chamberlain wasn't involved at all on Saturday. Suddenly he's on the bench tonight, and we kind of speculated what that meant for his future on Saturday. So I don't think I'm going to read too much into it. I wouldn't be too surprised if he had jibbed him off entirely for the matchday squad, non-injury related, because he's got options there. He's already been questioned over Fabio Carvalho and his lack of use of him. So I'd quite like him to be in the squad over Naby Keita personally, because he's possibly the future. Like, we can rely on him for next season. We need to see more of him between now and the end. Naby Keita, we know what we're getting with Naby Keita now, and it's not good enough, quite frankly, and he's definitely leaving. So for me, if they're the calls he's made based on merit and based on performance, I'd be happy with that. I see no problem with that whatsoever. And other bench, I'd like to say Ox has come back in. It's a strong bench tonight. But he's probably the outlier, Carvalho, in all of that, because we haven't seen loads of him, and Klopp has I think he's played like 12 minutes since that City goal or something mad, little cameo against Southampton. So it's been an interesting start to his career, but I'm a fan. I think he's got a future at the club, like I say. But with the Keita stuff, yeah, for me, I'd be happy if he's just been dropped. Just to bring it back to the front three, I think Paul mentioned before in the comments, I get what you're saying with the fluidity of what we've seen with Nunes, Gakpo and Salah. They have started to build up a connection, but I think Jota's probably the most similar to what Gakpo brought to the side in terms of dropping deep and stuff. So I've got no issue with them three going.
I'm just going to bring up, sorry if you don't mind, we haven't spoken about the Wolves team yet. It's gone on the bottom of the screen for those who haven't seen it, but just to confirm, Sarr, Semedo, Dawson, Kilman, Bueno, Lamina, Neves, Nunez, Matinho, Jimenez and Sarabia. So essentially that's a 4-2-3-1 for Wolves, it looks like. Maybe a 4-3-3, depending on what they do in the midfield. But Neves, Lamina and Matinho as a 3, Sarabia, maybe a little bit of... I'm just looking how Google brought it up. They've gone for 4-2-3-1 with Nunes left, Sarabia, and then like Jan Moutinho doing a little bit there. But it could easily be a 4-3-3 with Matheus Nunes playing left wing, perhaps. We'll find out sooner or later. But yeah, the Wolves team, I said they were full of confidence after playing us. They did a job.
They've got our number, yeah. They played us enough now. They
know what's coming. We know what's coming. Like,
exactly. There's no real surprises. There's no real surprises. It's just obviously which team can show up tonight, and more than anything else, they've not been great all season themselves, Wolves. So it'll be an interesting one. Just on the point that Dan was making about Carvalho there, I'm starting to think now my man was a luxury player for this season. And I say that to say because if the season would have went the other way round and we would have been flying high and we'd have, just steamrolling teams over, I think we would have seen him used a lot more, even if it was just to be brought in off the bench, just to see what he can do, just to see what extra little dimension he can bring to a side that's really high in confidence. I don't think, or what's ultimately happened is because of the way the season's panned out, and you've got Elliott still trying to bed into a certain role and kind of nail down a position where you could see him having a future for us. I think it's kind of hindered Klopp's ability to trust both of them at the same time, and it's had to be one or the other. And I think Elliott's just that little bit further in development than Carvalho, so it's almost coming a bit of a knock on for him, really, in that respect. It's not allowed him to just be able to be dropped in, and I think maybe in the summer, when obviously the players that do end up leave, and then you kind of look at see how the rejig goes. There's got to be a bit of a restructure, and then it's about factoring how do you get him to have the season that Harvey Elliott started to have last season before that injury, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Like I say, like Fabio Carvalho, there's plenty of time for him to come on again.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think Jürgen's just decided he's got work to do. He's done this before with players. He could start next season. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Harvey Elliott was just starting games. He went over, had a little loan, and he come back. Who knows? They didn't sign Fabio Carvalho straight up for now. They've signed him
for future. Yeah,
he might be able to add a little bit now, but in terms of also maybe what he could become as well. Dan, I'm going to come back to you on one question, mate. And I noticed it in the chat, but we haven't really looked like scoring too many from set plays recently. I mean,
conceding we have.
Oh yeah, conceding every game. Don't worry about that. Even Van Dijk and Canate at Brentford weren't exactly pulling up season in that department either. But Liverpool probably got their best corner taker back in the team in Kostas Tsimikas. That's one thing he does off you. With Van Dijk, with Canate, with Nunes, with Jota, who's very good in the air. Perhaps that could be a way where Liverpool are looking to do something, because as Kostas is the best. I think he is the best corner of our three full-backs all take the corners pretty much. Yeah. He's probably the best of the three of them.
No, I absolutely agree with that, mate. Yeah, that's probably... You'd have to say that might be one of his strongest attributes, really, as a left-back for us. He's pretty good all round. He's below Andy Robertson in pretty much every department, but he's ahead of him in that department, you'd have to say. So, and what we have added to this side as well from the game against Crystal Palace is that extra height, because Stefan Bajcetic isn't tiny. Fabinho is tall. He's a threat in the air as well. Obviously, bring Canate, and obviously you mentioned Van Dijk as well back in. Jota, given his height, is absolutely outstanding in the air. Darwin Núñez, we haven't really seen the aerial threat from him yet, in his attacking sense, but he can do it. He's big enough to do it, so there's no reason why not. And it would be nice, and it would make a nice change if Liverpool started threatening teams from set pieces and corners, because, like I touched upon, our defending of them has been woeful. That's something we need to work on and be better at tonight as well, because even sides that you don't really associate with being that physical and that strong, Brentford, they do it to everyone, that's fair enough. But sides that don't do it to other teams have been hurting us in that department all season long. So we need to get a lot better at that, and it needs to be tonight as well for me.
Absolutely right. Then we're going to start wrapping up. I'm going to have a little think what your score prediction is going to be. Before we do it, I'm going to have a hold down in a quick moment. Dan, could you lift up the prize?
Yes, mate, of course.
Please, mate. So later on Redmen Watch Along, one of our Redmen Plus Club legends are going to win this. It's a signed Liverpool
shirt. That's a throwback now.
Signed by Liverpool, former Liverpool defender Martin Skate. Good prize that. To be in the draw to win that, which we'll do before kick-off on the watch-along, all you got to do is become a Redmen Plus Club Legend. If you are one of the Club Legends now who are watching, I can see in the Discord, Wholesome, Steve Ryder, Daniel, Finn, Quadbod, all you guys, Scott, Night Killer, all you guys, you're already in that draw. If you want to do it, you've got about half an hour or so. Head over to redmenplus.com, sign up to become a Redmen Plus Club Legend, either on a monthly or yearly tier, and we'll do the draw before kick-off. And one of you will win that signed Martin Skirtle shirt. So worst case is, if you want to go and have a go and sign up. It'll cost you a tenner. It gets you it's effectively a raffle ticket, but not also a raffle ticket. It gets you also access to all our amazing Redmen Plus content for an entire month. So do go and check that out. Very, very quickly, before we wrap up then, score prediction, Errol.
I'm going to go for a close 2-1. Wolves will score first, and then we will come good before the 90 is over.
Awesome, Dan.
Yeah, just one more thing before I give you that. We had a few people saying it could be a 4-2-3-1 in the comments. I don't think so. I don't see how that works. It's a 4-2-3-1 personally.
Score prediction. Dan, that shirt that you're just launching about that we're about to give you.
Yeah, it's a shirt.
We're going to scrape that out.
People know what it's thrown about.
It's got Dan's sweaty handprints on, and Martin Skirtle's also.
I'm going to say, speaking about being good in the air from set pieces, Martin Skirtle signed shirt. Anyway, Liverpool 2-0.
Liverpool 2-0. I think Liverpool are going to win 1-0 right then. Yeah, come and check it out later. If you're looking for something to watch between now and the watch-along start, and keep on the YouTube channel. Dan spoke to the Sport 1 journalist, Patrick Berger, not the Liverpool player, the ex-Liverpool player, the journalist, about Jude Bellingham, and honestly some of the comments he made were really, really, really good, and really give us lots and lots of hope that Jude Bellingham might actually still sign for Liverpool this summer. So keep an eye out on the YouTube. Sorry, when you finish this stream, rather, go and check out the YouTube channel. That is there for you straight away. Go and give that a watch. Me and Errol will be back live in about 30 minutes time with the watch along. We are very much aware that the game isn't on TV in the UK.
We're going to fly. Where are we flying to?
We've ordered, me and Errol are going to make a quick pit stop down over to, where do you want to go?
I don't know. I feel like we should go somewhere like sunny this time.
Okay.
Like sunny Tenerife.
Okay, yeah, we're off, fucking hell. Right, the studios, we're actually in Tenerife now, but this is all a green screen, so we're going to go and have a little sunbathe. We can bring you the game because we can watch it on Spanish TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, come back in about half an hour's time. We'll do the prize drop, we'll do the watch along, and hopefully Liverpool can do us a favour and actually win a game of footy. Thanks to Dan, thanks to Errol, thanks all you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in half an hour. Take care, everyone.
We are really proud of what we've built at Redmen Plus. At Redmen TV, we employ 11 people in the Liverpool area. It's something that I am so proud of, and we couldn't have done it without the support of you guys who watch the videos and the people who subscribe to redmenplus.com. If you like the cut of our job, if you like the content that we make, then we make more of it. Redmenplus.com. Help us to help the community by signing up today.